Welcome to another episode of In the Nude. Today I want to talk about feeling stuck. I don't know about you. It's a continuous thing that happens over and over and over again, where I just have this feeling like something's not moving. It should be moving, that there's just like something wrong, that I keep hitting my head against the wall with the same mistakes, those type of things, right? You've been there? I hope you've been there. It's not just me. It's not just me. Okay, so I'm going to talk about that because I'll be honest, I have had this cycle so many times. It's uncomfortable, the level of times I've had this cycle. And I've recently been in this cycle again, feeling confused, kind of lost. What is it? What to do with it? Other than, the innate desire to judge, right? Whether you believe in spirituality, or if you believe in chakras, or if you don't believe in, it doesn't matter. The factual nature of what's going on is your body is wanting and grasping for something outside of yourself. It's a natural thing. Vying for worth, love, attention, stability, safety, any number of things. We have this innate desire to be loved, to be accepted, to be cared for. And as young kids, we're often told, not necessarily straight in words, but sometimes there, but in actions, that love has conditions, or that you're bad if you don't and you're good if you do. And we take these things on like they're truths, and we lace them into our foundation. We lace them into the mortar and brick of how we build our lives. These lies that your worth can be achieved by productivity or by doing, and isn't just because you are. And we pour it into the molds of our bricks and our mortar, that we lay the foundation of how we build our life. Like it is innate, it is in every cell. And to extricate it from ourselves, it feels like literally trying to split atoms. It's insanity. And it's one of the reasons why often when people are able to break those bounds and are able to see all these different things in their life and have growth and thrive, and their life comes apart, right? Because the house has to come down. The foundation was built on lies, and we have to restart over, and it's not fun, and it's ugly, and it's painful, and it's frustrating, and but you have this thing, right, where you've been told through actions, through words, through deeds, through life, that you're not worthy, or you're not enough, or you need to do this to be enough, or you need to have this to be enough, or you need to achieve this to be loved, or And we have it, and we've heard it so much, and we've like even if we didn't believe it, even if you didn't believe it when it was being said, it's a level of, it's almost like waterboarding. Okay, you might not drown, but you could die of pneumonia. It's not funny, but it's the same problem with any type of indoctrination. It's a part of, like, it becomes a systematic thing that no matter how much you push away from it, there's still parts of it that seep in, right? So you're coming into this place where you're trying to be with yourself and heal yourself and feel your feelings, but all of it's counterintuitive to what you were like molded to do. Shh, be quiet. Be pleasant, smile. Not too big, not to be too loud. Don't take up space. You can have feelings, but you can only have them with their anger, whatever it is, right? We get told these things, shown these things, live these things. And yet we expect the process of unwinding them to be instantaneous, to be fast. Like, I bet you sit there on a regular basis and you can offer grace and compassion and understanding to the people that hurt you. You can sit there and be like, yeah, I get it. And it's not okay, but I see how they were raised. I see the pain that they went through. I see that they're trying to cope. I see that they were lashing out because they were triggered. You can give these compassions, these grace, these understandings to the other person to an endless degree, to a point that you might have somebody in your life saying, when is enough enough? When will you cut them off? And I'm not trying to tell you what compassion is too much compassion or too little compassion. I'm pointing out, you have this habit of seeing and knowing and giving outward. But you've taken on the model. You've taken on the model that you were shown. You were shown lack of grace and lack of compassion and lack of patience. You were shown these things and treated that way, and you've taken it on and you embody it to yourself. You can give out that grace to other people, but you're not people. But you are people. Think about the number of years that you lived being told and believing the lies, that you're not enough, that you're not worthy, that you're not. Those are lies. You are enough. I'm going to say that to you right now before we go on. You are enough. You are lovable. You are worthy. But you heard those things and you lived out those things. Even if you pushed them away, you had it. Think about the number of years you lived that way. The years that you lived that way. The years that you lived on default and coping and not being active in what you thought and allowed your brain to degrade yourself. Think about all of those years. I don't want you to get into the deep of it and get all what it triggered. I need you to think about the expanse of years that you gave your life over to that you didn't have a choice in your life being given over to that. In comparison to what you've been doing now, trying to heal yourself, trying to listen to yourself, trying to take up space, trying to allow yourself to have feelings and sit with yourself, all of these things that are completely counter to what you were around, those two numbers are not anywhere near the same. I can promise you, nowhere near the same. Integrated, encompassing, everywhere, for years, for decades. And yet you're comparing it to this over here, and you're just so frustrated and lacking patience for yourself. I think you're forgetting a couple of things. I want you to stop right now. And you have that moment, right? That season or the exact moment, depending on your person. But this pain point that made you flick the light switch on and decide, okay, enough is enough. I'm going to reparent myself. Enough is enough. I'm going to make my life be different. And it led into healing, right? I want you to think about you a month, that time frame, or a month into that time frame. I want to think about how you coped, how you dealt, how you snapped, your triggers. I want you to think about that. Just for a couple seconds. Get a picture in your head. Now I want you to think about you the last month. I think that you are missing the progress. I think you are missing the amount of work that you have put in for yourself. You love yourself so much better than you did before. You show up for yourself so much better. You give yourself so much. You have grown so far. You have learned how to stop silencing yourself. You've learned to start trying to be present, see the details, take the deep breath, slow down just doing a basic task. You might be throwing spaghetti at the wall, but stuff is sticking. It may not be as much stuff as you want it to be. But you don't need to be a different person to have what you want. You want the feeling of whatever you think that thing is going to be. You want to blow up on social media? Why? Because money? What does that get you? Because of accolades? People telling you things? What does that get you? You're grasping at worth. You're grasping at value. You're grasping at affection. You're grasping at things that are already yours. And I'm not saying not to want those things. I'm saying that the things that you're looking to do and you're frustrated at being stuck, maybe you're being stuck and put in this circle, rounding and rounding this center truth, this root truth that you want, the universe, God, source, your inner divine, whatever it is, it wants you to see this truth. And so you just keep swirling around and around. And the truth is, you don't need to change. You are enough as you are. You don't need that position. You don't need that relationship. You don't need that thing. You don't need any. You are enough. You are. And you're feeling stuck. Maybe it's because that truth that you keep circling is the point. When you've spent years dealing with mitigating who you are for other people, you start closing yourself off. You start silencing yourself. Sometimes it's physically silencing yourself, like actively covering your mouth. Sometimes it's quiet ones where you just physically show how you're silencing yourself, even if you don't realize. Have you ever sat there and realized sometimes when you're thinking how you might cover your mouth? The other time periods you silence yourself because you're silencing your opinions. I'm going to give you a silly example. I was in a relationship, a long-term relationship, and so deeply ingrained into my person was to appease other people around me. That person liked coffee with honey. I drank coffee with honey for years. I hate honey in my coffee. No yucking anybody else's yum. I hate honey in my coffee. Maple syrup, sure. Agave, sure. Sugar, sure. Just cream, awesome. There's a lot of black coffee, great. I don't like the taste of honey in my coffee. I drank it for years. Why? Because in the off chance that person needed more coffee, I wanted it to be what they liked. I so silenced my own opinions, and I wasn't even aware of how much I didn't like honey in my coffee until I had it later and was like, oh, I knew I didn't like it-ish, but changing the station on the radio, we silence our opinions, we silence our gut, we have this intuition of, oh, don't do that, don't do this, or go do this, and we ignore it for its weirdness, we ignore it for its whatever, and each time we are silencing ourselves. And with that, it's this closing, it's this tightening, and it causes it. If you've ever struggled to share how you feel, right? Guilty, hardcore. Have you ever noticed, like when you want to say something, how you might cycle it, right? Say it's, something really big, like trying to say I love you for the first time, or to tell somebody that you have a preference, and that's really hard for you, right? And it could be something silly, right? So let's use a silly example. Somebody asked about where I want to go to eat dinner, and I feel bad about saying where I want to go to dinner, like what type of food. And so in my head, I'm trying to practice, I'm trying to force myself, I want Thai food, I want Thai food, I want Thai food, I want Thai food. And I keep like saying it and saying it and saying it. And almost with each moment of me saying it in my head, trying to force myself to say it out loud, it's like I'm burying myself underground to a point where I literally have time periods where I've done this in the past where I can't actively get my vocal cords to say something. I don't know if it's that far for you, but we have this process of silencing ourselves, and a part of silencing ourselves is it cuts us off like a chokehold, like we can't get enough air. And when we get silenced like that, we get up in our head. We get up in our head, and there's no compassion, there's no grace, there's not any of those. It's just the bully. It's just the ego grasping externally, continuously for its worth, its value, its anything. It wants attention, it wants anything, it wants busy, it wants do, it wants go. And it does and asks and grasps for everything that won't actually help it. So what to do about it? You're silencing yourself, you're grasping at worth, and you're cycling this truth. What are things that you can do? I'm going to tell you the things that help me, and then I'll give you some other ones that don't help me but could help. Silly stuff. Silly, practical, silly stuff, okay? I actually consciously choose an action, because I can't do it all the time. I actually just consciously choose an action that I'm going to do extremely slowly. And I mean like Sloth from Zootopia slow, okay? Making my coffee, brushing my teeth. It doesn't matter what it is, using the restroom. But the trick with this is it can't be while you're listening to something, right? When you're doing this slow action, don't be trying to consume a TikTok. Don't be trying to consume an audiobook or whatever. Just do something slow and count. Do something slow and listen to very slow music, maybe, if you need to have an auditory stimulation. Another one is make a playlist, okay? It could be anywhere from like 3 songs to 6 songs, depending on your time, right? But something that really can help you release all of that is we run away from our feelings. It's a natural thing. Feelings are uncomfortable, at least for me. It's this default like protection mechanism where we just like want to run out the door, just ditch. Part of it is because of what happened when you were upset. Shh, don't cry. I'll give you something to cry about. Any number of those. But we opposite, like, abandon ourselves often in these feelings. And it can be hard to sit with ourselves. When you can, it's amazing for you. Not necessarily amazing, always in the process. And sitting with yourself, we'll get there. I'll go back to sitting with yourself in a second. But something that you can do to help yourself feel the feelings, not judgment, not trying to fix it, not just feel your feelings, is pick a song that you, like, your heart, like, you know those songs that you're just like, oh, when they get on, you just want to scream the lyrics from the top of your lungs. You want to blast the radio and just like drive super fast, right? Whether it's joyful, angry, frustrated, sad, like you have those songs that are just like heart songs. Make a playlist that has, if it's, 6 long, let's do that as an example. Start with one that is like, one that's just like a heart-wrenching song. Right? It's your heart song. And then move into like an angry or frustrated song. And you slowly transition from those like extremely hard, and then you end on like a gleeful song. And I don't mean like a punchy, like kick back at somebody else kind of song. I mean like a song that just like makes you super duper just joyful and happy. It makes you feel like uplifted and laugh, like whatever that is. Like for my daughters right now, it's Soda Pop, right? They love that song. So like that would be like one on the far end. That's the happy, like uplifted, laughy kind of thing. And the listening to those musics and singing with those musics, if they have lyrics, it literally fits scientifically to sing vibrates your vagal nerve, which helps regulate your nervous system, which brings your cortisol levels down, which causes you to be more able to be content in your skin and grounded and feeling less anxious. It releases your brain from having to be constantly cycling on the hating on yourselves and all of that. If you're doing 3, do a sad song, angry song, one of those like kind of vibes on one end, a ish in between song in the middle that connects with you, but it isn't a terribly down or terribly up song, and then end on like a Soda Pop style song, okay? Depending on like your length of time that you can do a playlist for. Something that helps me, it's silly as it is, right? If I'm sitting there feeling extremely dysregulated, I put on, I have a playlist of songs that are just like my heart songs, right? And they could be an ambiguous number of things. Music makes a big difference for me if you can't tell. I put it on and I clean something, straighten something, take control. And I am, while I'm doing it, singing at the top of my lungs because my body feels dysregulated. And one of the things I like to do is, man, oh man, do I like to grasp for control. Like I like control so hard, to organize, to clean, whatever it is, throw something out. It doesn't matter, right? Pick your poison, do something that you feel in control over, blasting a song that you love or a couple songs you love, dancing while you're doing it if you want to, like moving your body. Those are all things, again, vagal nerve stimulation. Your moving of your body is going to heighten your heart rate, give you more dopamine, helps you have relaxing feelings instead of stressful feelings. Another one is, if you take the time to look at something super, super detailed, right? I have spider webs on my back porch, right? Because I haven't cleaned them up. So sitting down and like really staring at the details, look at the dewdrops, look at how they intertwine, and get like extremely macro and like fixated. This pointed fixation makes it so all the background noise has to go away. It causes a natural like grounding physicalness to you by your like focal senses. And that grounding sensation helps you feel less anxious, helps you open up. Walking outside can do this, right? There's lots of breath work that you can do. Things that some people can do. When I'm in that place, I can't switch on to meditation, right? Like meditation for me is beautiful and fantastic and extremely helpful, but it's also, if I'm not in a place to be able to do it, set up for it, it's triggering. It's triggering for me. The silence creates like dysregulation and like lack of safety, because silence was like the calm before the storm vibes, right? Okay. So my body remembers that unless I'm already in a calm place. I have to regulate my nervous system to be able to do a meditation. But for some people, that's not the case. Awesome, good for you. Maybe that could be helpful for you. Moving your body, getting in nature, all of that can be helpful. But humming is super great for vagal nerve stimulation, for making you feel like unclenched. But it's the opportunity to find and play with yourself. To find the things that help you and leave the things that don't. The internet is filled. You can do a ChatGPT search, or you can look on endless supplies of things and come up with this giant list. But where the rubber meets the road is you testing it out. Finding out what works for you and what doesn't. There might be science behind how ice baths make a difference, but maybe for you, it does not help. Or at least it doesn't right now. Because there's also seasons and times. Like, I definitely have gone through seasons and times where what worked then does not work now. And that's okay. This whole thing isn't about you mastering the class. It isn't about you getting over there. It isn't about some arrival. It's about you. The whole story is you. You're the main plot. You're the main character. Don't miss the plot for the shiny objects. The things that you think will give you that feeling. The things that you grasp for worth, said to you and to me. When we do it, we're missing the plot. And you're the plot. You're the plot. You're worth compassion. You're worth that grace. You're worth taking the time to be with yourself. Oh, I was going to say, relating to your feelings, being with yourself. For me, I visualize being with myself like I would a kid that's sad, right? They're not hurt. You don't have to do damage control. You don't have to like make sure to figure out where they're, fix the situation. They're hurt. They got their feelings hurt. They're frustrated. You're having a bad day, right? Like, you don't need someone coming in and trying to have them explain why they're feeling that way and give justification for why they're feeling that way. They don't need that. You don't need that. You just need somebody to sit with you. Split yourself in two parts, right? The one that's hurting inside you. And for me, it varies on who that person is. Sometimes it's someone who is 12 years old. Sometimes it's somebody who's 30. It doesn't matter who the part of you that's stuck in this fear, this anxiety. It matters that you sit with yourself. You don't have to have the right words. Have you ever been sad and just had somebody sit next to you and it made a difference? Sometimes just being with yourself in the feeling. Not even having to say, that makes sense. That's reasonable. Though sometimes that can be helpful. It's understandable you feel that way. No wonder. But just being with yourself. You're the plot. You're the main character. And every side character. You're the plot. You're it all. You're getting distracted by the shiny object. You are all of it. Whether that happens or doesn't happen, I get wanting it. I get striving after it, and I'm not saying don't have goals. Though sometimes, depending on your personality, that kind of cause restriction. But don't miss the plot for the goals. Don't miss the plot for the shiny thing. Don't lose yourself into the old story and the old patterns, the old default. Don't self-abdicate. You're a big deal. You're worth that energy. You're worth that effort.